Hey, what's going on? It's J Sports back again with another pod. Today I have Reese and Bob on, and we're going to cover everything that's going on in the EPL since the restart. We've had about a couple weeks of games now. There's been a lot of news, a lot of storylines, so a lot to talk about. And remember, you can always follow us on all the social platforms, DJ Sports Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach us for questions that we'll answer on the show at DJ Sports Pod at gmail.com. So just hit us up for questions and we'll answer on the show. Before we do that, we're going to have our legendary beer segment.
After that great intro.
So today, a little different. I like how we're straying away more from the cliche beers, the generic beers.
Getting pretty creative.
Yeah, Reese, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you got?
Yeah, so we got the Rogue. What is it? It's Rogue Brewing, I guess. It's the hazelnut brown nectar. Got a fun little can for if anybody actually watches online. It's a hazelnut brown nectar. It's an ale with natural hazelnut flavor, and then on the back it's got like a fun little scale of like what it like leans towards, like bitter, roast, nutty, and this one is like a nutty toffee flavor, apparently. So excited for this.
Nice.
What do you have, Dev?
So I have to say shout out to Rishan Patel. He gave me a couple beers that he wanted us to talk about on the show. So this is the Trappist Rochefort, a Belgian beer. Very simple label. Not much going on. Your standard 2-panel label. But yeah, I'm excited to try this because I'm a big fan of Belgian beers. So, cheers.
Cheers. I actually have the same one as Reese, so.
Oh.
Great.
Yeah, shout out to my mom again for getting us some new beers. So.
A little bit. Cheers, Bob.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh.
that's freaking good. All right, are we actually gonna give like number ratings this time? Are we gonna start that?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Ratings, okay.
On a scale to 0 to 10.
Yeah. 0 to 10 can go decimals, halves, whatever the hell you want to do. Who wants to start it off?
I'll start off. 10 being my most favorite beer. I think this has to be like around an 8.7.
Wow.
7.
Yeah, this beer is actually really, really good. I don't know. It has like perfect balance, and like the toffee or whatever is not like too strong still, but like that nutty taste is just like perfectly sweet. It's just like on point, and it's not too bad either. So I can see myself drinking maybe like 2 of these. So
yeah, that's a funny way to describe it because I don't know if you read it, but on the back it's got a little like description kind of, and I was just reading it while you were describing that, and it says it's a nutty twist to a traditional European brown ale. That's pretty much exactly what it was. It's got like the perfect balance of like both of them. Because I normally don't like brown ales and like toffee beers and stuff like that, but this is actually really good. I'm not gonna go as high as an 8.7 though.
okay.
I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna be a tough grader. I'm gonna make beers win me over on it. Because of the can though, I'll give it 7s. I'll go 7.7.
7.7.
Yeah, the can pushed it over 7.5 for me. So.
Nice. So this beer is really interesting. I didn't take a look at the alcohol percentage, so it kind of surprised me at how strong it is because it's 11%.
What?
Yeah, so
11%? Are you reading that right?
yeah.
Are you sure that's not in like by another country standards or something?
I mean,
I'm kidding. I'm totally joking.
but yeah, it's really like the alcohol by volume is higher than your average beer. So even though it's an ale, it really has like a very like thick taste because they're just so many flavors, so much going on. So it kind of feels like almost like a stout just because of how much there is in the beer itself. So really interesting beer. Something that you definitely want to sip on. Not something you're gonna chug right away or drink quickly. But I'll give it a solid 7.
7.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah, how did I know Dev wasn't gonna? He was just gonna do just a solid like whole number, like he wasn't gonna stray from it.
Yeah, you guys are really using decimals. That was nice to see. All right. Anything else to add to the Rogue beers before we move on?
Nope, still tasting amazing.
This is good.
All right. So we had Liverpool and City both played today. Liverpool tied Burnley for the first time not winning at home since last January. I believe it was a 24-game winning streak. We still haven't lost a game at Anfield, I think, in 3 years. So that streak's alive. But the winning streak comes to an end today. Shout out to Burnley. They played a great game. They could have easily won today. There was a couple shots hit the post. We could have easily won as well, but Nick Pope, the goalkeeper, played a great game. He made some incredible saves on Salah and Mane, which you don't see keepers in the EPL really do. Those were two of the best goal scorers we have. So shout out to Nick Pope. Played a hell of a game. I'm not sure if he was man of the match, but he definitely deserved that award. So this draw is kind of a small blow to the hopes of us getting the points record. We're at 93 right now with 3 games left. Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle. So we need 8 points to break it, 7 points to tie. So we have to win all 3 of our games, basically, to break the record. So that's like right now the one thing I'm looking at as a Liverpool fan. We have the league wrapped up. But yeah. Just on your outside perspective, what do you guys think? Do you think they're gonna break the record?
I think it's gonna be interesting to see if they try to go for it and gun for it. I mean, they're not playing for anything else this season, right? So if they do go for it, I think they can grab it.
Mm-hmm. There were some players who were like, "Yeah, we're focused on the points record." I believe it was Alexander-Arnold and Henderson that were saying they wanted to. So it would be really interesting. Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea's been struggling, which we're going to get to. Arsenal's been playing a little bit better, but those are obviously going to be tough games. It's always tough playing clubs like that. So we'll see.
It's definitely going to be interesting, too, if he keeps putting out, giving some youngsters the game time that he's been giving them and how that plays into it. Because obviously, I mean, truthfully, that's just as important, especially for next year, figuring out as good as Liverpool was this year, I think there's still questions about the bench, some of the players on the bench, and Minamino, Shaqiri, different guys, and when called upon, how good are they going to be and stuff like that. So I think right now is the perfect chance to figure all of that out. But at the same time, I don't think Klopp really cares about the points record, he's already happy about the dominant season and stuff like that. So, but I think they'll still get it. 7 points, right? To at least tie it. So, yeah, I think they'll at least do that. So it's going to be fun. I mean, it's at least something to watch their games for. They at least have something to play for.
Yeah, exactly. But like you said, the young players, he started Curtis Jones tonight. For the first time. So that was really cool to see him make his first start in the Premier League. He got his first goal the game before. And so we have him, Nico Williams, who are, rising up the youngsters. So yeah, I'm really excited to see how they fit in. And like you said with Minamino, he still hasn't really done a lot, but I'm sure Klopp has a plan for him for next season. So yeah, I'm really curious to see how he fits in as well.
Yeah, because I think those bench players, it's starting wise, I'm not sure the team really has much to do this offseason, the transfer window and stuff like that. But, it never hurts to add a good guy on the bench, a good squad player, for FA Cup, just all the crowded schedule that happens in the Premier League. So it's definitely right now for all of those players right now, now's their make or break right now, to prove that they belong and stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah, so we had City who beat Brighton 5-0. Um, another big goal scoring game for Manchester City. Bob, why don't you talk about how they've been playing and just what you saw from them today?
Well, a couple things. First off, as like the current record holder, I hope you guys don't get it. Just send that out there. Um, but in today's game, I mean, Raheem's had a hat trick that had him go for his career best. I think it was 27 goals, which is great to see. And just like an overall confidence in the team was just looking like we are getting ready for Champions League, like getting our gears ready. So that was good to see also. But losing Sane last week was kind of tough on us as a whole. That guy did a lot for us the last couple of years. Hopefully we can find someone that could replace him, but we got some young guys too that are kind of showing their stuff. So
Phil Foden's been looking really good.
Yeah, this guy's been playing amazing. I'm sure you guys have seen, but it's going to be interesting to see where he plays next year and where Pep wants to utilize his strengths.
So City's had a great season. Again, leading the league in goals as well. But 9 losses this year, Bob, which is more than United, Wolves, and Arsenal. Do you feel like what's the reason for those losses, or is it like something you guys can fix?
There's a couple games where we weren't clinical as we should have been, like the game against Southampton where we had 25 shots and couldn't put one away. So we've had a couple games like that where we've had ended up losing because of it. But for the most part, it's because of our injury back in the back with our center backs. With Laporte being out most of the season, we had the general Otamendi, who's been worse than terrible this year, and a center mid in Fernandinho playing center back for his first time. So it was tough, but at the end of the day, we made it through and we're still in second place. So I'm not too mad about that.
I was gonna say there was just some weird losses like sprinkled throughout the year, like the Norwich City one at the beginning of the season. Like when Norwich City got relegated today, I kept thinking back to that game. I was like, how did that happen?
Like I'm into Barcelona for that one game. Jesus.
Yeah, Pookie was in the running for Golden Boot, right? At some point.
Yeah, the first 5 games or something, but still, he had the league by storm for a little bit, and I don't know, the way that they were playing, I thought that they were going to be impressive. But
also moving forward with the ban, we'll see who we get in the transfer market for center back, because we definitely do need someone, definitely some depth or someone to play on the right of Laporte. Because if we could do that, then our defense would be kind of shored up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if you guys potentially go in for Koulibaly from Napoli.
That's our main target. That'd be best case scenario. Yeah. In his prime, he's 27, 28.
Yeah, he'd be good for the big time games.
100%.
Next year, Champions League, all that kind of stuff. So
let's switch gears to the other Manchester team. United has been playing really well, not only since the restart, but since Bruno Fernandes joined the team. Rees, I'm sure you're more than happy with how they've been playing. I think they broke a record for most 3 goals wins in a row in the Premier League. And just their style of play has been so much better, more fun to watch. So why don't you talk about what's going on in United right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's really been top to bottom, bringing in Bruno. I think throughout the year they were showing glimpses and stuff like that of a team that was maybe 1 or 2 players away from really figuring it out and stuff. But then there was also other times where it was okay, this is the same United we've been seeing for the last few years. But once we added Bruno, it was obviously he's getting a lot of the credit, which is well deserved because his mentality and just his style has completely changed the way that we've been playing. But it's really been top to bottom, seeing. I mean, what Greenwood's been doing has been freaking insane. Having Pogba back has been awesome, and then even Nemanja Matic, his performances have been like nothing short of like phenomenal for us, and he's been holding it together in the back. And him and Pogba working together since the restart has been almost as good as Pogba and Bruno. So it's just there's a lot to look forward to, I guess. And like even the defense, like with all the clean sheets and stuff that Harry Maguire's bringing us, and I know De Gea has definitely had his moments this year, and even Maguire has, but it's a lot better than the United of the last few years. So I could go on and on about it, but
You
I
know what
just
it
want them
reminds,
to finish
you
out
know what
the
it reminds
season.
me of? It reminds me of like when you have like that team on FIFA and you get the team chemistry right, and it's like 98 and everything's like all green, you know. So like I feel like that's exactly what United's just done. Having Bruno and Pogba back just sets them up perfectly, just to like break the press and be able to go forward.
Yeah, and Martial's been playing the number 9 role pretty perfectly, and Rashford kind of, I mean, even his role since the restart has changed a little bit. Like he was our attacker, or, go after him guy, but that's kind of changed into Greenwood, and now Rashford's like slotted into like he kind of like stays underneath Martial and kind of like stays inside, and he's a lot more of like a playmaker right now, just sending in balls and using his speed to go after guys. So it's they're definitely playing the style that Ollie wants to play. So the
Mm.
sky's the limit at this point. If they can get Sancho, as the rumors are, then yeah, I mean next year will be even more fun. But the focus, like I said, the focus right now has to be these next few games. Top four. All he's been saying in all of his press conferences, every single time they ask him about top four, he changes it into third place. He says, "Yeah, we're shooting for third place. Top four would be nice, all that kind of stuff." So he's had that in mind for a long time, and it's finally within reach tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So you guys definitely have top like Champions League shirt up with United Sheffield beating Chelsea, or what's the points like looking?
Yeah.
We
Um,
yeah,
You guys
we
are,
at least control our own fate the rest of the season. So if we win out, we're good to go. We at least beat Chelsea. So and we play Leicester the last day of the season. So
yeah, that's gonna be a massive, massive game with Leicester in
jeez.
fourth.
that's actually something to talk about. Is Manchester United versus Leicester on the last day of the season, and then Chelsea and Wolves. And Wolves are right there at like sixth place. So it's like you got 3 through 6 playing for everything on the last day of the season. So it's gonna be
Yeah,
a blood.
and Sheffield, they've had a great season as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've had some fantastic results too. So
Before we move into Chelsea, so it's crazy to think that Ollie was really close to being let go, or were those rumors accurate at all?
well, I think the pressure was definitely on him, but I think something drastic would have had to happen during the season, like a really bad run of form, or kind of like Tottenham had, where they like really dropped below like 7th, 8th place and stuff. I think either that had to happen, or at the end of the season we just had nothing to show for it. But I don't think the club was ever close to it. No, I think they were fully behind him.
Speaking of the Spurs, what do you guys think is going on over there? It looks like there's a lot of issues.
I don't know where to begin with that team. They had so much like promise at the beginning of the season.
They were in the Champions League final less than a year ago. About a year
Exactly.
ago.
It's amazing what Jose Mourinho does to mentality, huh?
They have so much talent too. It's really they've had a lot of injuries too as well,
To be
but
fair,
yeah,
Wait, so they have so much talent, right? All three of us can like unanimously like agree that they have a lot of talent.
absolutely. Yeah.
Why is Mourinho walking off the field after the last game saying that all of his players are shit? It's like I don't know, man.
I mean, you have Harry Kane, who's one of the best goal scorers.
Kane, Lucas,
Son,
Yeah,
Lloris is one of the best keepers, I would say.
Son Bergwijn was a great signing. They got a solid midfield. They got Harry Winks, who's a great young English talent. And I don't know, man. They got a squad. They shouldn't be where they are. That's for damn sure. But
One of those years.
it's
Yeah.
a crap year for them.
yeah,
So let's move on to Chelsea. They lost pretty badly today, 3-0.
yes.
In just what was a horrible defensive performance in a massive game for them against Sheffield. Kepa gets beaten again and again. But I wouldn't want to blame everything on him because it's I feel like it's a total just defensive collapse that they're having right now.
Yeah, those guys in front of him are much better. I think. I mean, for me personally, especially as like an American soccer fan, Chelsea games have been awesome to watch this year because they score a lot of goals, but they're definitely going to give up a lot of chances in the meantime. So, um, yeah, not surprised that it went the way it did, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they close out the season just demolishing everybody. Also, they've been that kind of team this season.
The most roller coaster team, I think.
I would say, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say about with Kepa, he's their one player I think that's holding him back from being that perfect, like coming out of the back, playing with like a super keeper type of team, because he turns over the ball so much, and like he's not that good with his feet, and he gives up a lot of goals where it's like kind of reaction saves where you have to be as like a keeper or a super keeper, and I think they need to move on from him if they can get someone else that's I don't know more reliable. He has like the worst like save percentage ever as a goalie, and you can't have that with what they're trying to do because I've seen it with City games where we're trying to play out of the back. If you have someone that's not confident, it's just gonna ruin everything. So
Bad piece of business, in my opinion.
Yeah, they've given up 49 goals, which is tied with Everton for how many goals they've given up, and their goal differential is 14, which is by far the worst out of any team in the top five. United is behind them with 26.
yeah,
So I mean, they, like you said, Reese, they score goals, but they also give up a lot. It's pretty crazy to think that they only gave up one to City a couple of weeks ago.
we were not even set up to even try that game. I don't know what Pep was doing at all. It was just a game,
It's just Chelsea just one of those hot and cold teams. They can lose to anybody, but they can also beat anybody.
That's true. They score all these goals without even a true like striker.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a true striker.
I was gonna say Tammy Abraham's been good. Like honestly, I'm scared for them next year. Like I think we can all say like their signings and stuff like that. I'm still a little scared for them next year. But if they don't do anything about that defense and if Kepa's in the net, then they're not gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna hold it up for 38 games through the grueling schedule. So, but also just to say something like as impressive as they've been like all throughout the season, I don't think Lampard like right now. I still don't think he knows his like best 11. Like if the season was on the line, like it's gonna be in a couple of days, I don't think he's gonna know who to start, and I kind of worry about him like completely gaffing that. He's lucky that there's 5 subs and he might be all right, but
no, yeah, I agree, but I think he in his mind he knows what his team is like at its best, but there's just like certain players that like prevent him from doing that, So I don't know. Going forward, I think they could. This is their schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea, that Chelsea United game is crazy, but they have a tough schedule.
Yeah, they do. So they play Norwich, which I mean they're relegated, but I'm sure Norwich would love to ruin Chelsea's season. And then they play United in the FA Cup, and then they play Liverpool and Wolves to finish off the season, which are two, going to be 2 tough games.
I don't know if they're ready.
It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be tough. But like I said, with Manchester United playing Leicester, and I mean Leicester could even potentially drop points in between them because they play Spurs. They play Sheffield Spurs and Manchester United to finish off their season. So a result the right way and another game can still keep them fighting for something against Wolves. I don't know. It's gonna be a bloodbath that last day.
Yeah. Do you know the date of that by chance?
Sunday, July 26th.
26. Okay. So
Yeah, and I believe everybody. I know that the way it typically is. I don't know if COVID, the whole schedule affected it, but everybody kicks off at the same exact time. So Manchester United they're gonna have live updates of what's going on in the Leicester game, or in the Chelsea game, but yeah, everybody's gonna be playing at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be. To be honest, I think that's a good way to do it.
Definitely.
Because sometimes you see in the NFL where like a team, they lose and they're like, all right, we locked it up. They play like later at 1 or something.
Yeah,
Chelsea,
exactly.
out of Chelsea, Leicester, and United, like, who do you think is the one that gets
the spot, the
the
top four.
yeah? Who gets,
So two of them are. Yeah, that's a really interesting.
so
Do
you
you,
have Chelsea at 60 points, Leicester City at 59, and Man U at 58.
I could shoot.
I, I think it's just I think these next two games. So like look closer. So Leicester plays Bournemouth tomorrow, or yeah, Leicester plays Bournemouth tomorrow, and then Manchester United plays Southampton, and then they'll all be even on what points or whatever.
Yeah,
You can assume that Leicester. Like, can we assume that Leicester's going to win, right?
Mhm.
Manchester United, worst case, a point. So at that point, Chelsea is still in it, you know?
yeah.
But
It depends if Chelsea drops their next game. I think.
I was going to say, but then if you're looking further past that, Leicester, like I said, Leicester plays Sheffield United and then they play Tottenham. And I know Tottenham's been struggling and stuff like that, but they're going to have a lot to prove that game,
I
especially
think
coming off of
I
the
think Leicester's also one of those teams that when they're playing at their peak, they can beat anybody, but they could also lose to anybody. They've been really up and down. Like they were in second place for like a good part of the season, and they just fell off.
especially since the restart. They've not been fantastic. They've had a few good performances, but they've also had a few really bad ones. So
And Chelsea is not going to go next 3 games and like get points throughout all those games. So they're definitely going to drop some points, and if United and Leicester can make up those points, I think they can sneak in.
Right.
yeah, like I said, I think the ball's in Manchester's court and it's theirs to lose at this point, especially with playing Leicester at the end of the last game of the season. It's completely theirs to lose.
Right.
So
And some dark horses. You still have Sheffield and the Wolves on the outside looking in, but it wouldn't be the craziest thing that happened.
I was going to say I just want Sheffield. I think it would be a great story to see Sheffield finish sixth, and then I know you don't want to get into this, Bob, but the ban happening, and then Sheffield getting a Europa League spot because of that would be pretty cool. Give them that. Give them European football because that's. I mean, they were just promoted, you know.
Yeah, that would be great for them, but that ain't happening. All right, none of that type of talk.
I was gonna say we have no idea what's gonna happen with the UEFA ban on Monday, but
Pep is confident that there'll be a good result, so I think we could rely on his word.
I'd be shocked if like the whole 2-year thing. I think that's blown out of proportion and stuff, but yeah, I think it's just next year that everybody's worried about, you know, because there's even, I mean, they've done point deductions and stuff like that, so we don't know what's gonna happen.
I can't say
We'll
anything
see.
confidently,
We'll
so
see.
we have to wait and
Yeah,
see.
and I can't say anything either.
Monday morning, I'm gonna wake up bright and early.
So speaking of Champions League, I wanted to just touch briefly on it because the draws did come out for the next round.
They did indeed.
And one side of the bracket is really heavy compared to the other. So, it's just you have some teams that are just really in trouble, but you have other teams like PSG who have a really clear, solid path to the finals.
Yeah.
Reese, just looking at this, like, what sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think you pointed out PSG definitely, especially with their struggles over the last however many years it's been. I mean, since Lawton was shining for them, and even before that, when they were signing players like Beckham and Ronaldinho and stuff. Everything that they've done, the French league was always theirs to win and stuff, but everything that they've done, every player that they bought was to win the Champions League, and they've always come up extremely short. I don't even know. What was that?
Some devastating losses in the Champions League.
Yeah, I was gonna say some devastating losses along the way, but I mean, they're sitting at home right now. They're not doing anything else but training. So they have no excuse but to be, ready to go, I guess. And they better make it through. I don't know how a team on that side of the bracket stops them. What about you guys?
So go ahead.
Atletico can. I think Madrid is a perfect team to stop them.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like, you know, I'm not just saying this because they beat Liverpool, but Madrid's been there and done that before in Champions League. You know, they've won, you know, so many games against big clubs like Bayern, Barcelona, not Real, but they beat Liverpool, and they know how to get to the final, especially Simeone. And I think having the one game knockout is favors them because they just, you know, they're not the most talented team, but they know how to win games in these knockout formats. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Atletico made it to the finals.
You know, that one game knockout is actually a great point. Because like you said, Simeone, he's been there before, you know, a few times. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be a fun round though. PSG and a potential PSG and Atletico matchup.
Right.
But what about the other bracket for you
Yeah.
guys? Because that
The
one's
other
got
side
Don't even
is,
get me started with the other side.
yeah, that one's got the firepower. Let's just go ahead and say that Chelsea's out. Bayern Munich's up 3-0. They're dominating all of that stuff.
I
We can
think-
assume that they're probably out, right?
Yeah. I don't think they're going to score 4 goals.
Yeah, definitely.
I think honestly, City should take care of business too. Is it too? Think they're going to be at home?
Yeah, I think we'll be ready. And I mean, like, I think I
What
was high.
what's
You guys 1-2-1?
Yeah,
2-1? Okay, a
Yeah.
2-1, and then you guys are going home.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah,
So that means Real needs 3.
or just 2-1 and then take it to overtime and get a third.
2-1.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a good chance. I think Lyon's up 1-0 on Juve, or is 0-0, something like that.
No, yeah, I think you're right. They're up 1-0 on Juve, but Juve's going home. So, and you know, Lyon's been off, and I know I just kind of said that PSG should be well rested and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't see Lyon doing a whole lot of damage.
Right.
against
You have Ronaldo in
Yeah.
Champions League. You know, we know what he's done. I think they'll take care of business there. The one thing though is Napoli and Barca. I think that is something that I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Napoli came back and beat Barca because Barca has not been playing well. Napoli's a good defensive team. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Napoli has been, but Barca, like you said, has been dealing with a lot of issues, and Napoli's set up to stop a team like them. So, I think Napoli probably will come out and win that one too.
We had some
Technical
technical issues.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, but go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, so I was just saying we're moving to the semis. I think, I think City and Bayern are the one that comes out of that one. But I mean, we have to wait and see.
I was gonna say, just regardless, just the storylines that we have up there. Like, if we're gonna say that Juve's moving on, the potential of Ronaldo against Real Madrid, and then obviously Juve City would be, a great matchup and stuff like that. But then also, what I was gonna say earlier is like I'm not even sure it matters about the whole Napoli Barca thing because I think Bayern Munich's just I think they're too dominant right now.
I think they're arguably the team that's in best form right now in the world. So yeah. The way Barca's looking, I don't know how they're gonna stop that Bayern attack. Because ever since the restart, the German league is not the most competitive, but they've just been ripping through teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're definitely going to be the team to beat once August rolls around and we're talking about Champions League more often and stuff. So if they're going to move on, then we'll be seeing Bayern and, I mean, even the storylines there. If we can see Manchester City move on, we got Pep versus Bayern again. That'd be awesome. So
just going to Bayern.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole
playing his old team just months later, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, so I think all the storylines that we could potentially see up there, and then even I don't think it's likely, but if Barcelona somehow find a way to sneak by, we could see one of our last ever Messi Ronaldo matchups, which would be
Right.
pretty awesome. So
We could also see Pep against his old team, Barca.
exactly, and then Pep against Barca would be awesome. So yeah, there's just a lot to talk about, and I really want August to just
Yeah,
hurry
August is
up.
gonna be packed.
Yeah, a lot going on there. We have baseball coming back. We have the NBA hopefully starting soon.
Mhm.
So it should be a good month. Should be what this spring summer should have been, but we'll take what we can get at this point, right?
Push back, but glorious all the same, you know?
Yeah. We'll definitely have a basketball pod before the season starts, and then I would like to have a baseball one too. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Was there anything you guys wanted to tackle before we wrapped it up? I think we hit everything.
No.
That was pretty much everything we wanted to talk about. So.
De Bruyne's gonna break the assist record.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say De Bruyne in the assist record, Vardy going for his first ever Golden Boot. Those are some other things to watch for. So.
Right, we have Aubameyang, 2 back, Salah and Ings 3 back, with 3 games left to play.
Yep.
So, De Bruyne, he has 12 goals, I believe. 12 or 13.
Yeah, he has 12.
So
two more assists for the to break Thierry Henry's record, or to tie Thierry Henry's record. 3 more to break it.
Yep.
Would like to say Salah's tied for 3rd in assists. He's up there for goal contributions with De Bruyne, so I think he's probably had a good season.
I want to say a lot of things right now.
Yeah.
Firmino, he's got his assist there too. I will say he's been getting a lot of hate. I've been seeing online for not scoring goals because he's a number 9, but he does his job. I am biased, but I love how he plays.
I haven't seen him score a goal in years.
He hasn't scored a single home goal all season, which is pretty bizarre to think about.
Yeah.
Seems almost impossible that you can't score a goal at home, but it's just one of those things. Still has one more game against Arsenal. He always dominates.
You
Arsenal.
already know he's gonna take 20 shots.
It's one of those Firmino things, bro.
But yeah, a lot of great storylines to look back with the last couple of games left, and I gotta say the EPL has been great since the restart. What do you guys think about just the games as a whole, like with no fans and like the fake crowd noise being pumped in?
I don't know. The product itself has been, still pretty similar. It was rough at like the first couple games, but I think they're kind of getting in full swing now. The more like obviously the more technical teams with more talent have been kind of more dominant.
Yeah.
But we've seen some upsets. City losing to Chelsea and stuff like that. So,
what do you guys think about the 5 subs and the water break that were?
I like it.
I like the water breaks for sure. I do wish that they, maybe thought about stopping the clock because it's kind of just feels like a waste. But I can understand, why they do it. But yeah, I think the water breaks are something that they probably should have had before.
And I like the 5 subs because you can prevent injuries for other players. Like so many times players are trying to play through certain things, like because there's already 3 subs or whatever, they don't want to waste a sub or something stupid. So
exactly.
with 5, you already know you could save that or you could use it.
Yeah. I think the water break actually might stay. I think there might be some tweaks to the rule, like you said, maybe stop the clock, even though that I don't know, traditionalists might hate that
right.
the clock stops. But yeah, I think if you stop it and put a time limit on it, something like that would be kind of interesting. But as for the 5 subs thing, I'm enjoying it right now, but I think it's just obviously just because of this whole restart and how many games we have to finish and all that kind of stuff. So I don't see that one staying or anything like that. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot to look out for. Really grateful to have football back.
Yeah.
A lot of great games coming up. So I'd like to thank you guys for being on the show. Reese and Bob, as always, it's a great conversation. You can always catch us on our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, DJ Sports Podcast. Reach us for questions, djsportspod@gmail.com. Yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll be back soon.